Welcome to Channel 7 News with our anchors Nathan Nguyen and Jady Chan.
Good morning.
Today, December 9th, 2015, we will be celebrating the 26th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall with the new upcoming movie, Brr Brr Berlin, followed by an interview with the producer and two of the experts on the subject.
Brr Brr Berlin is a historical fiction portraying the lives of two families, the Everhart family living under the security of NATO, and the Moore family fighting for the escape of the iron fist of the Warsaw Pact. A compelling tale of human endeavor, this film captures the reality and the hardships that families of the Cold War era would have to endure.
On the 13th of August, 1961, the Berlin Wall was erected to separate the communist East Germany from the non-communist West Germany. Eastern Berliners struggled to stay alive on their side, just like the Moore family in the movie. Meanwhile, the Western Berliners assisted refugees in escaping over the wall and from guards, just like the Everhart family.
Without further ado, here's a sneak peek at Brr Brr Berlin.
Yearning for the comfort of loved ones, the West just out of reach. What would you do if you were caught on the wrong side? What would you do if you were caught trying to help? This fall, brought to you by NATO and the Warsaw Pact.
Breaking news, the Berlin Wall has officially fallen.
Comes the new epic film of the century, Brr Brr Berlin.
Wow, that was certainly an emotional roller coaster.
Yes, Nathan, I certainly cannot wait until it comes out also.
And now, a word with the producer.
Hello and welcome to Channel 7 News, Colodny. What prompted you to make Brr Brr Berlin?
Well, I was born on the west side of Germany. As a child, my parents were passionate about helping the less fortunate on the other side of the wall. I remember packing supplies for different families and seeing new faces in our house practically every day after the Berlin Wall was erected. We continued to shelter people until the wall finally fell in 1989 due to growing tension between the two sides, the peaceful revolution in late 1989, and the Alexanderplatz demonstration on November 4th.
Very touching. Were you guys ever close to being caught?
We were always very close to capturing the Eastern fugitives, but we only ever had one family that was unsuccessful in escaping. They were running along the wall at night, but with the white wall, their dark attire, and the street lamps, they were quickly spotted. That's why I had the Moore family dress up in white. In fact, the child was practically in all white since her mother was more worried about her child's safety than her own.
Whoa, it seems as though this movie was extremely detail-oriented.
Well, of course. This film was based off my own personal experiences, and I felt that the more details I could implement from my own life, the more realistic Brr Brr Berlin would seem, despite the comical title.
Yes, you did a wonderful job on the film. Do you remember what it was like when the wall fell?
Before the actual fall, Günter Schabowski, a spokesman for the East German Communist Party Politburo, incorrectly reported that East Germans could essentially just ignore the borders and cross into West Germany. All of the East German border guards were, of course, super confused, and so they just opened up the gates. The excited crowds just demolished the wall, many with their own bare hands. There were celebrations all around, and I was there myself to help greet all of the East Berliners, especially the extended families of many of the individuals that I had helped over the years.
Amazing! I wish I had been there to see the destruction of the Berlin Wall myself. Well, that's all the time we have today for this interview. Thank you for being here with us today, Colodny.
No problem, and thank you for having me.
Incredible, that was definitely insightful. What do you think, Jady?
I'm so moved.
And now a word with our experts.
Welcome to Channel 7 News. Hans Heppenheimer, our West German expert, and Zelda Schwinghammer, our East German expert. Wow, Hans, you bear a striking resemblance to our anchor.
Yes, so I've been told by many interviewers.
Hans, would you be able to enlighten the viewers on the Berlin Wall?
Of course, I'd be glad to. It was initially constructed as fences and the like, but with the increased attempts to escape from the horrible life under communist East Germany to a better one in the democratic West. The wall that we know of today was created to keep civilians in the East. Before the construction of the wall, about 2,000 people were escaping each day. On August 12th and 13th of 1961, 30 miles of barbed wire ran through the center of Berlin.
Yet people were still able to escape, correct?
Yes, from 1949 to 1961, approximately 2.5 million were able to escape, with the majority of them through Berlin.
You said that was all barbed wires and fences in the beginning. When did this become the Berlin Wall that we are familiar with today?
Those barriers were eventually strengthened with concrete on August 15th to keep the citizens away from capitalist thoughts of the West. This number dramatically decreased to only 5,000, thereby showing the effectiveness of the Berlin Wall in stopping the migration from east to west. These walls, fences, and wires soon covered 28 miles of Berlin and 75 miles of West Berlin by 1980.
How do you feel about the Berlin Wall?
Maybe a little biased since I research more on the NATO perspective, but I find that the Berlin Wall itself was an atrocity. Like John F. Kennedy, the United States president of the time, said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," which means I am a Berliner. For I too want to be united with the West Berliners. I am a firm believer that people should have the choice to stay under the communist USSR or move into the democratic rule of the West, and the Berlin Wall greatly restricted the freedom of the Eastern Berliners. My thoughts about the Berlin Wall can be best summed up through Ronald Reagan's infamous words to the General Secretary of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union. "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall!"
Okay. Well, we will now move on to Ms. Zelda Schwinghammer's interview. Thank you, Ms. Schwinghammer, for being here with us today.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
Now that Mr. Heppenheimer has provided us with his own insight on the topic at hand, would you please give us your own perspective on the Berlin Wall?
Well, since so many people were escaping towards the West, especially skilled laborers, professionals, and intellectuals, this had a great strain on the Soviet's economy, and thus I believe that the SED, the ruling Communist Party in East Germany, was justified for constructing the Berlin Wall, for they were simply acting in their best interests.
Well, in what way were they acting in their own best interests?
By building the Berlin Wall, it would keep the workforce of the country on the eastern side so that their economy could match that of the West. Furthermore, it was to restrain Western fascists and spies as well as the capitalist influence of crossing into the USSR.
Thanks, Ms. Schwinghammer. That was some great insight to contrast that of Mr. Heppenheimer. It was definitely beneficial to see both sides of the conflict.
Amazing. My brain has reached its maximum capacity for today.
What brain? I honestly didn't think you had one in the first place.
Funny. Well, that's it for your morning briefing.
Tune in to us next week to find out how cold the Cold War actually was and tips on how to get elected by your very own anchorman, Nathan Nguyen.
What are you doing?
So cute.
That's my shot.
You're gonna be moving anyway. We can only see the back of you right now. It's not even the back, it's the shoulder. Okay.
Okay. You're lying.
Okay.
That point okay, or do you want me to do something different? That's cheesy. No problem. Thank you for having me.
Nice.
That hurt my neck.
Nice.